Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So this is part 3 of my visit to Click Antiques, and yeah, some interesting and unusual glass, yes, I can promise, and I was more successful at finding things than I expected, especially one particular case which will be near the end. And yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, I'll find something like that, and I actually found the thing. Wow, what an amazing thing to find. Anyway, with that said, let's get on and have a look at the glass.
Just spotted something really interesting. So I would have said, looking at this chalice here, that it's Empoli, but it's got a label. And the label says Rid Sweden. Never heard of Rid Sweden. You have to remember there's like a couple of hundred glass factories, or there were overall a couple of hundred glass factories in Sweden, but Rid Sweden's definitely worth a look. I will try and find out about that one.
So I've never heard of Rid before, and I've had a hunt around. I looked in 20th century glass and it says nothing about them. It just meant it's got some of their glass for sale, and that is your lot. So I found this though, Rid Glass, and it says not much is known about Rid Glassworks. There you go. The factory is based in a village in Rid, Sweden. We found it in 1918. They produced some glass designs in the 67 similar to those of Astorfors and Homeguard, etc. The company closed in 1985. And if you've got any more information, they would like it. So this is similar to the label I think we were looking at. And yeah, they've got a few bits and pieces. These all look to be tube vases though. Yeah, and they're a bit like the Rihimaki, but a lot of them are opaque. Yeah, so 20th century glass. Of course 20th century glass has got one. And here it is. So that is the same one, and they literally just says made by Rid of Sweden. Yeah. And this is more like Empoli. If I go back a page, show you what else there is here. Yep, more tube vases. That one's quite nice. Yeah, I've seen that shape as well somewhere else, but yeah, he knows as little as we do, because if you look up here, actually look here, it just says blah blah blah. That's it. It just says Rid, and that's it. Normally it has a little preface on it, so yeah, it's a bit of an unknown. Apart from that, it's in the village of Rid, or was. Anyway, so there you go.
Got a Chance Brothers hanky vase here. I think that's a earlier pattern, and in behind, this is a piece of Victorian something. That's really impractical, but White Forest chalice vase in the back there, and yeah, another piece of what looks like a Victorian, but all the decorations come off it. But what is that when it's at home? It looks like it should have a bung in it or something. Can you see there? Yeah, I really don't know about that one.
This book is Miller's 20th Century Glass by Andy McConnell. This is the hanky vase that we were looking at, or bowl. I don't know if it's a vase or a bowl. Anyway, but it was in red. And yeah, so it says 1958 to 1990, so it's definitely vintage, like they said. Yeah, it's Chance Brothers, I should have said that. And what's it called? Posy bowls. Called Bandel. I think this one's called Bandel, I think. And Yes, oh, circa 1962. So, yeah, I've actually had a look online to see how much they go for in eBay, and the prices do vary. They're starting kind of around the 5-ish mark, going up to about 25. I think that might be down to sizes. Some of them you can see here, this one's quite a bit bigger than these others. So there are multiple sizes, colours, patterns. There's another pattern that's not here. So I think there were quite a lot of them that was sold. So it does tell me that somebody is buying them and collecting them. So someone likes them, but they're not making a lot of money. So if this is a range that you wanted to collect, out of what I looked on online, this looks like the rarest one because I didn't see one. Saw all of these other patterns, but not this one. Even in the ones that were being sold, I didn't see this one. So yeah, and whether or not it had a label on it didn't seem to make much difference with price either. But if you've got the choice of buying, go for the ones with the labels. Also, I do know that some of them have the sort of like a black and white checkerboard little label. So you have a gold label for Chance Brothers, and then you have like a black and white checker one, which is the British Design Kite. Yeah, if you see one with the British Design Kite, that's going to be a better one to get.
A few bits up here that I don't know. Yeah. Don't know, it says Italian. This though, this is Whitefriars. Flatbread ruby. Yeah, some Whitefriars ham bone, but this is a different thing. Don't recognise. Bud vase. Yeah, it's got a clean base, but yeah, don't know.
So this is the Whitefriars Glassworks.com website. And this is the catalogue for 1964, and I think it's this one here, which is a 6.5-inch one, because it definitely wasn't an 8-inch vase we were looking at. It's a 9505, and yeah, so a little surprise to me is that this is the only year that I can find this, which means even if they did make it for longer, I suspect not that long, and I don't see them very often, so that probably chimes with that. So yeah, it's not a common vase. I do recognise I actually did have one years and years, about 20 years ago, which I sold because space. But anyway, yeah, it's not common. I didn't realise that. It's just one of those things that I had one, didn't realise it wasn't common, and got rid of it. Anyway, that's what it is. I thought I would just go and have a look at the prices actually. And yeah, so what I was just saying about if you're going to collect the Chance glass hanky vases, go for the ones with the labels. This puts it into stark contrast here. So we've got two 9509. I don't know what they're saying. That's a 9505, but it's clearly not. But anyway, this one has the label on it. This one doesn't. £9 and £35, and it was buy it now as well. So someone was willing to press the button and say, I want that one with the label on it. And this is only a 6.5-inch one. Actually, let me see, just check the size of this one, because that looks bigger. Looking at that lady's hand. No, 17 centimeters. So that's a 6.5. So they're the same size. Anyway, so there you go. Labels make a difference. So if you are collecting things, if you can see it with the label on, go for it. It's worth it. I'm back with whitefriarsglassworks.com, and yes, so the ham bone vase, as I called it, this one here. Is the 9571, and it comes in blue, green and ruby. This is 1964. Now I've actually scouted forward and it keeps appearing right up until 1974. But the green disappears off fairly quickly, so obviously green didn't sell too well, but I think they were doing blue and ruby to the end. So anyway, there you go, that's what it is. It's definitely this one. The other one, I did actually check, just in case it was in here. I think it's someone else. I didn't recognize it as being from the catalogues, and yeah, I didn't see it, so it must be someone else's.
Got a jug here, so you've got written on it fab green. So this is going to be probably pre-war, Victorian, something like that. This is interesting. Is there anything written on it? No. Looks like something cedar would do, possibly, maybe, maybe not. This is interesting as well. This looks like it's Tyne Valley, Isle of Wight. They do this kind of texture. So put that back, maybe try and find it, a little pear.
So I had some ideas on who this pear might be by, and yeah, so I did a general search. This is what you get if you put in glass pear, but it's clearly not that common. It just didn't appear. So yeah, skip forward. I tried this one, which is Ditchfield. Yeah, that's not really right either, I don't think. What's this? Oh, yeah, I typed in more general because that one appeared. I thought it was close, but yeah, it's just not it. I did Isle of Wight. Nope. I tried Tyne Valley, and this suddenly appeared here. It's on eBay. Here it is. It looks very similar, doesn't it? The stem is bigger, but the real killer is this. Yeah, so that's a broken pontil on the base there. It's not them. It looks very similar. The way the stem is formed is not the same. I think the stem is actually formed from this because it's got some of the pink in it, whereas the other one was absolutely clear, which implies that it's a separate piece of glass that's been added. So anyway, and then the base is not polished off. So yeah, I'm no wiser.
Got a couple of bits here. Don't recognise. I think there's an American company that does stuff like this. I think Orifice has done stuff like this, but I don't think it's that. The Jack in Pulpit vase I don't recognise either. Baby Sham, yeah, classic. £12, 1950s, and it is actually a 1950s one because the deer is white. If the deer is white, that means it's an original Baby Sham glass.
I did have a pop at trying to find this Jack in Pulpit vase. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of variety. And I did find some that appeared to be by the same manufacturer, but you know, there's this one. You can see it's got the same four little lugs, got white underneath. If you look at it here, they're saying vintage 1960s, which means they probably don't know. It's Etsy, and they usually don't. They quite often don't know. I saw another green one. They're saying Murano. They probably don't know either. Pin interest. Another one with the four lugs around the bottom. They say Murano too. I don't think they know either. And it's also for sale on Etsy. And this one here, Ruby Lane, they're saying Murano as well. I suspect they don't know. So yeah, I'm not trusting any of these. So they are out there, that with those sort of like ribby legs coming off the base, making them very organic and almost Art Nouveau-y, but I think they are post-war. But yeah, I don't think anybody really knows or at least nobody that's saying on here is. I did remember afterwards who the other company was. Not American, German. Walther. So I punched in Walther. There it is there. There's a few of them on there. This is the best picture though on Etsy. And so yeah, so this is the bowl made by Walther. Is that got a label? Yes, I didn't realise that. So there you go. It is Walther, definitely. We can trust this one because it's got a label. And it's saying West Germany. Okay, so that makes it pre-1990 because obviously you got the unification coming after that. So yeah, that's quite a nice little feature there. West Germany. If you see East and West Germany on anything, it makes it vintage instantly because it's before the unification of Germany. Or sometimes it says DDR, Deutsche Democratic Republic, which is actually the non-democratic side of Germany. Yeah.
Little doggy down here. Random, it makes me think it's Chinese, and yeah, if you look at the base, the rough base, yeah, this is Chinese art glass. If it was real Murano, that would be highly polished because that's their way. But yeah, it's a lump though. Got a bit of silver. It's got layers in it, you know, because you've got your blue, you've got a few bits of coloured cane in there. Got your silver foil, and you've got layers on top of that. So it's got some work in it. This is interesting. It looks like a piece of American carnival glass. Got a nice texture on it, so it's nicely pressed and everything. But I don't recognise it at all. I'll try and find that.
So that bowl is American. It's Fenton Stippled Rays. I don't think I've seen it before. And yeah, so that's... Anyway, this is David Dottie's Carnival Glass website, and it doesn't give dates. It tells you dates when things are sold. But anyway, so if we go here to carnivalglass.com, it's here, and he said made in the early 1900s. And this one's interesting. It's the same colour. It's a slightly different shape. This one's got a scalloped edge, and the one we had had a non-scalloped but wavy edge. But yeah, $150 if you want one. $150. So that's the difference to the £8 price that was on there. And it didn't even say AF, so that should be unchipped. So even though, and it's the same colour, even though it's a different shape, even if it was cheap and it was in the US, it's going to be $50, I suspect. But it could be nearer this price. So yeah, this is the difference between glass in America and glass in the UK. If you were to the problem is that you don't see masses of this stuff. If you were to sort of like thinking, I'm going to buy this and ship it out, you'd be going to an antique centre, buying about 5 or 6 pieces, and then going to another antique centre and buying 5 or 6 pieces, and etc. etc. You couldn't just go somewhere and go, oh yeah, I'm going to buy 50 or 100 of these. There's like, if generally there's a few bits out and about, but not masses of it, because it's been imported from America over 100 years ago.
A piece of fancy art glass. As you know, I'm bad with art glass, so let's see what it says. Stunning Murano style bowl, AF. Let's have a look underneath. There's no pontle and it's not polished. Yeah, it's nicely done though. It's got, you know, nice patterns and textures and everything, but I'm not sure if it is Murano. Got a nice rinser here, so this feels, wow, it's light, feels Edwardian or something. It might be earlier because it's got like Etruscan style. Let's see if I can get that to focus. Can you see Etruscan style patterning on there? It's a super quality thing. £6. So this kind of etching, is that wire, well, what do they call them? I can't remember what it's called. But anyway, it's a nice thing. Got a Stuart Woodchester. Is it marked? Yes, it is marked. Little either jam or mustard pot. So the lid with a notch to put your spoon in. What's he got written in it? SM Crystal Edge Mustard Pot, £6, which is actually very cheap, but I think I have one already, so I'm not going to rush and buy. What's this? Oh, Turkish FA glass, made in Turkey. Never seen that before.
This is the Stuart Crystal 1938 catalogue, downloaded from the Stuart Crystal Collectors FB group. And yeah, so this pattern here, it hasn't got a name in the catalogue in 1938. It's just the 27861, and then each item within it. So the decoration, decoration is 27861. Anyway, regardless of that, this is the honey pot they've got at this time. Now, after the war, this pattern was called Woodchester, but people call it Woodchester Spot because it's got spots, and after the war these spots disappear. The little honey jar that we were looking at just now, one, it was a different shape to this one here, and two, it didn't have spots. Also, I just, as a little side, because I've done a video about Woodchester, because I've got a lot of it. In fact, I've got one of those honey pots already. I did check and I have got it, so I'm not rushing back and buying it. I think this has appeared in the Stuart Crystal Collectors Facebook group since I did that video, and it's this, and it's an advert for Stonia's, which is a big department store, and I think Stonia's had some sort of company relationship with Stuart. They may have even owned Stuart, I'm not sure, but yeah, they've got more, and they've got the jar again. Is that the same? Let me just double check here. Jar, yeah, it's the same. But what's interesting here is, where's it called? Where's the name? Yes, additions or replacements of Ferndale. So they're calling it Ferndale at this point, but that may be only Stonia's name for it. And there are a few things on here that I've never seen. You don't see much of the stuff with the spots on anyway, but I've definitely never seen this. I might have seen one of these, but I've never seen a candlestick. Yeah, not seen this. So yeah, there's some odd ones. And I don't think, no, I've never seen one of those either. So yeah, there's a few things on here that are just either unique to Stonia's or just things, and they're not on this catalogue here. Look, there's no candlestick there. So yeah, funny little decanter, that's not there either. Yeah, there's a few bits and pieces that are just not there. Anyway, so we need to move forward, and we'll jump to 1964, and here it is. This is the little honey jar that we were looking at, 27861. Now I don't know when they stopped doing the dots. I think it may have been the war, may have been the thing that changed it, because obviously they wouldn't have been making this kind of crystal during the war, and then after the war they'd have had to start all over again, and doing the little matte spots would have just been extra work. Oof, drop it out, make it simpler. Anyway, so this is it, 1964. It's here. I think somewhere in here there's the rest of the pattern. They do call it Woodchester. and then and this is it here in 1972, and I think they made it right to the end, and there is the little jar that we were looking at. So you could put 1960 on it, definitely, because it's definitely the 1960s catalogue, but I think it was being made right up till 1980. So there you go.
Just behind we've got a couple of Polish, Josephina, jellyfish or octopus, depending on who you are, because people call them both. Josephina Krosno, yes, he's got that written on it as well. They don't make this pattern anymore. Well, they make it with a modification over the top with lines, black random light strapping over the top of it, but they don't, from what I've seen on the website, they don't make it with just this plain creamy textured pattern anymore.
This is the web page for the Josephina Art Factory. See up here, and yeah, there's not a lot on this website, by the way. There's almost nothing, in fact, but it does have this here. So this is what they're currently making, or examples of, because there's no catalogue here or anything like that. I presume that they changed what they do a lot, but you can see even amongst these there's some common shapes. This shape here, this little ball in the middle, staying and repeating. Similarly here, you see a lot of these vases with these big holes like this, and also there is only one here, but there's this jellyfish or octopus bowl, depending on who's saying it. So yeah, it's this kind of bowl, but if you look at this one here, and I can't make this any bigger, I don't think, is this textured surface. Yeah, so, but as I was trying to highlight, the current one has these black lines going through it, but I can slip back and show you what you see on Google, because obviously this is what is made today, but it reflects back on some of what they have made. I think these two patterns seem to be newer ones, because when you look back on what's out there on eBay, etc., etc., these are not so common. This pattern here is a bit more, and this textured without these black lines is more common. So let's have a look. So here we go. This is some of the stuff that's on sale. You see, like this bowl here is just like the one we were looking at with the holes in, but there's loads of these jellyfish because they're so distinctive. Stripy ones, but not the black and white ones. And you can see this is what I was talking about, the textured, creamy textured pattern. I don't know if we get, oh look there, no, that's not quite the same either. I don't know if there's a jellyfish bowl that's like the ones we were looking at a bit. Not quite exactly the same, but almost, because this bit was clear and that one was, this one's coloured. So, but it's got these little wings on it. There's another pair here with little wings on it. So there's, yeah, their work seems to evolve and change over time. And you can see the only problem is that we don't have dates for any of these things. So, but I get the impression that things evolve and change over time. There's one that's actually a black and white one with red in it. And you can see that that's the only one I've seen here so far. So I think that's because it's probably the newest. And there's one with the black lines on it and with the Josephina label. So you get what I'm talking about anyway. You see there's a lot of these jellyfish octopus bowls. And this one's sort of like the same shape bowl, but with more little legs on it. Anyway, and yeah, the bowls are come in different shapes. There's rounded ones, less rounded ones, and reasonably flat ones, and then flatter than the ones that we were looking at. This one looks to be a similar shape to the one we were looking at, with these little bits coming off there, and the same shape like that. So you can see there's this relationship between their glass where they're mixing and matching patterns and shapes and styles. So anyway, that's Josephina.
Look at this pressed glass, oil and vinegar set. And more stoppers. It might have originally had, oh, actually. So, this is a nice early piece. So I think it's French. This is two separate pieces. So this bit that goes round, I'm not going to lift anything because the whole thing could just come to pieces. I don't know how it's built, and I'm not going to do it with one hand, but this jug handle is put on from top to bottom, which means it's probably pre-1880s. The French might be on a different timeline to us, but it's still going to be Victorian.
This is the glassmoustabuche.de website, and the catalogue we're looking at here is the Leblanc. So it's French, yes, Frankish, because this is a German website. It's got lots of different countries' websites, but it's got quite a lot of French ones. So, and I guessed it was French. So here I am, and I have actually managed to find. So these are the bottles I think we were looking at, and this is the stand with the little rounded top, a little bit there. Wait, this is all the same, little frilly bit here. So yeah, so, and this is from 1897. So there you go. I was just thinking I'll try and find something similar, and I did actually find something, the actual thing. So fantastic. So I don't know how long they made this for. I don't know when they start making it. Looking at some of the earlier ones and some of the later ones, I don't. The fashion seemed to change a lot. So I think, yeah, it's around this period. I don't think it's going to be a long way into the future or a long way into the past. So anyway, there we go. 1897 by Leblanc. So I hope you like that. Finding that French cruet set was a real surprise to me, I have to admit. I was kind of like, yeah, I'll try and find something like it. There's like about 10 or so, and I think I looked for about 5 or 6 different catalogues, and boom, there it was. I was a little bit surprised that it popped up like that. I was like, that page looks like it's the one, and yeah, sometimes miracles happen. Anyway, what shall I say? Yes, all the references I used will be in the description below, as will the contact details for Click Antiques. And please remember to like and subscribe, because it really helps my channel. I'm trying to get to the 1,000 and it's creaking at the moment, going really slowly. So yeah, please like and subscribe. And what else? No, so thank you for watching, and have a good night. Good night.